Sorry, go again.
I'm just trying to see if Adam wants me to buy this domain name right now or if I can wait until after the podcast.
All right. So is it for you or is it for him?
It's for him.
And it's $4,000. And it's like
yeah, the one we just looked at was 2.7 million. So this is a steal.
2.7 million. Like being in a position to even just consider that for a second.
You know, stuff is happening when I have like when I talk to Adam literally every day in a week, and we're looking at $2.7 million domain names.
Christ. Okay.
Dude, it's been forever.
What's the domain? And has it anything to do with like lewd material?
With what?
Porn.
Oh, that's not our business.
All right.
Not those
Not yet.
images.
Yeah, I've been fine. How about you? You've been MCPing all the piece.
MC Peter in the house.
MCing all the piece. Nice. MC Peter, yeah, that's right. Yeah, I found some friends, some new friends that I invited.
Yeah, I saw.
On. Yep.
I feel like Nicholas should have shaved and worn a hat when he was on.
Yeah, I think so too. Thought that all the time, actually. It was distracting. He wasn't wearing the uniform.
Right.
So, you've been busy?
I've been very busy. I think the last time we recorded was before I went to Laravel Live in London, right? It must have been because
I think
that was
so,
one
yeah.
of the excuses for not recording. Yeah. And I've been busy at Laravel. I've worked on an MCP server package for
Have
Laravel.
you gotten it?
It's like an experiment. I mean, there is an MCP server package now, but I'm the only one who's been using it really so far. So it's still, I would still call it an experiment, but it's pretty cool.
And is it for Laravel the service, or is it for individual Laravel apps, or what is it? What's the intention?
So for now, it's an experiment. It's just, let's try to build it and see if we want to go that direction. But hopefully it becomes like an open source thing.
So it's a thing you install in your own Laravel app that then gives it the ability to respond with information about the app?
That, like, the thing I've been experimenting with is just literally implementing the MCP protocol server side of the protocol in PHP. So
all right.
You can do MCP things, whatever you want to do.
So it's like
for any MCP
thing.
use case.
All right.
It's an SDK, essentially, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So I've spent 2 months soon just deep diving the MCP spec, learning everything about it, and I feel like I know a lot about it now at this point.
I would hope so.
Yeah. But the Laravel gig is actually coming to an end, at least for now, in 1.5 weeks. So
all right.
It was clear, I think, pretty quickly that all this like AI stuff that I started a lot of things that are really cool and really interesting, and I think a big part of it was just like not just like, hey, here's like me building MCP stuff. It's also like, here's what you can do with MCP stuff. And
yeah,
I think like a lot of people internally got really excited about different things they could use it for in their teams. But yeah, pretty quickly, I think they realized this is exciting. All this AI stuff is exciting. We want to do more of it, and we should have someone full time. Yeah. And I was pretty upfront early on that I wasn't going to be there full time because I'm at Tailwind. That's like my main thing.
You have another job buying multi-million-dollar domains.
Right. At least
very busy on that one.
Yeah. Man, that was a really good domain name.
Can you give a hint? What was it? Can you say it outright? What is it?
Well, it was AI related.
AI-related.com. I see. That's an expensive one.
AI.ai.
AI.ai. Wow.
It was, yeah. So it makes sense. And I don't know if I could see a world where I could still help out with things once they have someone who's like in charge of that side of the business. Because that was like one of the challenges of coming in as like being part-time, not being part of a team, and just build cool things. It's that works to like, you know, at least, I mean, it works to some extent, but at some point you just need someone to sort of like decide what to do with all those things, you know.
Yeah,
And
you can't really
they don't
own
really
it in a sense.
right, and they don't really have someone who is in charge of that now. So I think the dream for them is to have someone full time, and then they're going to take what I built, keep working on it, and maybe there's a world where they bring me in and help do more stuff when there's someone who can sort of oversee it more. So, but yeah, it's been really interesting. It's been really busy. I've written so much code, like I've just completely forgotten how much I love programming. I've had so much fun building this stuff, and I'm just so like excited about building developer tools and writing code, and just insane how much I feel like I've been able to build in, I think it's 6 weeks now. And I've built like it works really well. Like you could do insane things with it already, and I just really it's just really cool. So I'm hungry for writing more code.
I've been feeling I've seen some people tweet this, and you included, I think, of like, I'm moving faster than ever before, and I still feel like there's more things that I want to do than ever before.
A million more things. Yeah, it's crazy, dude. It's just...
It's like suddenly you have these capabilities that were holding you back somehow. I think that, yeah.
Yeah, it's just like you don't waste your time. And like the same, I told someone like, if it's like a quarter to midnight and I should have already gone to bed for 2 hours ago, and I'm staring at my computer and I'm almost about to fall asleep, like I couldn't like manually build a feature. I wouldn't even start on anything because I wouldn't get anywhere, so it would just be a waste of time. And I'm like, it might as well just turn my computer off and go to bed. But now it's like in 15 minutes before it's midnight, like I could at least crank out a small feature or something really meaningful.
Yeah.
You know, Gemini isn't tired.
Gemini. Good old Gemini. Have you tried the new CLI yet? The CLI? No.
CLI.
No, I haven't either.
But yeah, then I went to London to do the talk. That was busy too, but a lot of fun too. Like some really, really great people over there. And it was fun to be like the AI guy at the conference a little bit, because I was doing an AI talk and I was the AI guy at Laravel. So like a lot of people wanted to talk to me about that. Yeah, it's just super cool. The talk went really, really well. I was so nervous about it because it had bumped in the past at the meetup, because it's like really... Like someone said, doing AI live coding on stage, someone said it's like meeting Trump in the Oval Office for rolling cameras. It's like you just really don't know what he's going to say. Like he could say anything.
Just stay on your feet.
Yeah.
Be ready for anything.
Be ready for literally anything. But it did, like I practiced it so many times. And I just, every time something went wrong, like I reevaluated my cursor rules and added extra things. And in the end, it ended up being really smooth. But it still sort of went wrong on stage, but in a good way. Like the first thing I asked it to do was like write this test, so we have some test coverage of this app before we start implementing a new feature or fixing a bug or something. And then, so that was like, maybe it was going to write like maybe 100, 150 lines of code. And it was always sort of hit and miss whether that worked or not. But it worked like the first time, which was great. But then afterwards, it went into like an infinite loop where it just said like, it just kept saying the same 3 things in a loop, and it didn't stop. But that was like perfect.
Exactly,
because
like
it didn't...
Trump, by the way.
Exactly.
The metaphor
it didn't interfere with the talk, because it didn't like mess up the code. It didn't write code. It just like talked to me like over and over and over and over again in a loop. And it was perfect to like show that it just does really, really strange things. But it didn't mess up the sort of flow of the talk. So it ended up working really well. And then I think because I just practiced the talk and I gave it 2 times at meetups and stuff, I felt really comfortable giving it. And I was really nervous, but once I was up on stage, I just was like, I remember thinking like, this is good. Like I'm having a good time right now. And then I had this section at the end where like I could tell everyone was like enjoying the talk. Like there was like really good sort of energy in the room. And then when I was almost done with the live coding, I was like, I know I said this talk wasn't about vibe coding, but let's just do one vibe coding thing. And I had this demo app, which is a domain portfolio tool. and I just said like add search to the index page. And then I just went back to my slides, and so we're not going to look at the code, right? Because we're vibe coding. So I went back to the slides, finished the talk, and then I was like, thank you at the end. And then everyone is like about to clap, and I'm like, but stop, we got to see if the vibe coding worked. So just like that, like energy of like people are like one clap, and I stop them, and we go over to the browser again, and there's a search field there that wasn't there before, and we hadn't even looked at the code or anything like that, but now it had search. And then my point was like, okay, so yeah, the thing I said about like we'll still have a job in the future, don't know about that. And then everyone laughed and they clapped, and it just, everything just worked out so perfectly in the talk, and it was just really nice.
Great.
Yeah,
Great.
Dude, good. I'm not saying it was the best talk at the conference. I'm just saying
but it was up there.
That.
Other people said that. Were those really people? Are those people with us in this room? I was about to say, is it like, was it Claude?
With you right now, Peter?
O3 saying it.
I didn't watch many of the other talks because I don't know if I find like respect like to the people that sit down for 45 minutes watching a talk.
Yeah,
it's like, I don't know, I couldn't do that.
No, but also when you're
just raw dog the whole talk for 45 minutes.
Yeah, but when you're on stage, you also come down with like this other energy, and if the talk went well, then you're like, you barely can sit still. At least that's how I am. So very used to
so the whole
like
thing was just great. I had a great time. I'm excited about giving the talk in Copenhagen in August, except like I don't know if it's going to go as well, but at least I feel like I know the talk pretty well now. So been busy, been doing a ton of MCP stuff, and just had a good time. And started working on an coding agent 3 days ago.
I saw that Thorsten Ball was his name. Is that the name?
Something like that. I don't want to.
He's working on something called AMP, which is also sort of an agent-ish thing.
It's an agent. You can install it in VS Code as like an alternative to Copilot, basically, right?
Yeah. And he wrote an article about how to make an agent. So something like Claude Code, basically using LLMs with a set of tools, right?
And it's like the most exciting coding tutorial I've read in like years. Like, I feel like I used to read articles like that all the time and just be like, wow, that's cool. That's exciting. I want to do this. I want to do this tutorial. And I can't remember feeling that for a very long time. But like this one was just like, man, it was just so exciting. And he just goes over it. He's like, okay, let's start a Go project, and let's just have like a way to print something out on the screen and they can type something back. Okay, let's hook it up to the Anthropic API. Okay, let's add a tool for like reading a file, and then let's add a tool for listing files. And you keep waiting for like the big reveal where it's gonna be like really difficult or like now the hard part is gonna, and then it's like, okay, let's add a tool for editing files, and then you're like, how is it going to edit a file? Like, how is it going to, like, how are you going to tell it? And then it's like, it takes 3 parameters. It takes the name of the file. No, it takes the name of the file, the old string to replace, and the new string to insert instead. That's like literally how dumb it is.
Yeah.
And it just works. And I was like, man, this is so fun. And then over the weekend, I wanted to try to do it in PHP and Laravel. And it was quite easy, honestly. And then last night, I wanted to like kind of take it to the next level. So in Laravel, we have Artisan, which is like this CLI part of Laravel. There's a lot of like developer tools included with Artisan, and you can add your own commands for stuff. But it can do like code generation.
He's really good at naming, like that, right? Taylor.
Well, yeah, he's great at naming.
It's got like a cool name for every part of a Laravel ecosystem.
Yeah. It's called Artisan, and then so I wrapped Artisan in 2 tools, one that was like list all the Artisan commands, and one that's run an Artisan command. And the run Artisan command could also just run the help command for that command, to like help the LLM understand how to call the tool. And then I just built those 2 tools, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna try this, just see if it works. I didn't even know what it was gonna do. And I obviously had like a system prompt with like some Laravel specific things. But then I just said like in Laravel, in a default Laravel app, there's like a routes file. and it has like a route, but it's like not using a controller. It's just like an inline with like a callback kind of thing, right? And I was like, move the default welcome route to a controller. That was my prompt. And then it ran Artisan to generate a controller. It read the controller. It read the routes file. It took the route code out of the routes file, and it added similar code to the controller. And it was like, here's what I did. And it just worked. I just built like an agent that could just like add a controller, add code to it. And it's just blowing my mind. Like, it's just like, I was like at a meetup thing in town here yesterday drinking beers, and I was home and it was like 11:30 or something like that. And in like 20 minutes, I implemented all this Artisan stuff, and it just worked. And that was like mind blown. Like, what's going on? Like, why?
I had the same realization when I watched that Karpathy talk where he goes through how an LLM works with like
the 4-hour one.
So yeah, good. I think it's only 3 hours, but it's really good. And just like realizing that this is all just shoving text into a thing, and then making the text be like smart in a way that it can call tools, but still it's just like all about shoving things into that context window. I like how Toby from Shopify tweeted the other day how he's like changing from calling it prompt engineering to context engineering, which seems like
I love that.
That's the thing, right? You have to know how to shove the right things into that damn context, because like that's just how it works. That's just always how it works. It's just looking at text and then generating more text.
Yeah, it's like that, like ragging basically of like what needs to be in this context window before I get something out that is like usable. When I read the tutorial, the mind-blowing thing to me was the tools and just how simple they were. But when I implemented it myself, like the thing that sort of was most, I don't want to say mind-blowing, but it's something I completely knew in advance. I just hadn't like internalized it in the same way, but like the only way you can build an agent where you can have a conversation with it is that you on your end keep track of the conversation, and then every time you call the AI again, you send the full conversation, the result of the tool calls, and everything that happened in the past in the interaction back to the AI, because literally every time you talk to it, it comes alive again out of the model, and it has no context. It has no memory. It has nothing. Right. It doesn't know anything. It's born again, and you need to bootstrap it back to basically the state that it was in the last time you talked to it, and then you do the next bit of the conversation. And it's so crazy because it's like that's actually even how they get it to become an agent, or like like an assistant. Sorry, not an agent, but an assistant, because when you just train. This is something I kind of took away of the Andrej Karpathy talk. I remember, I think that's from sort of where I gathered it from, but like you have the model, it's just predicting text, right? So if you ask it a question, like it might as well just like continue the question or ask another question. Like that could be like the logical thing to do for a model.
Yeah,
if you put a question into it. And just like
the example of like putting a good chunk of the beginning of a Wikipedia article into it, and it just like continues the article exactly as it read it.
Exactly.
Originally.
But it's like it doesn't know to act as an assistant, because it's just a mathematical model that predicts text. So, but then you afterwards in post training you show it like all these conversations between a human and an assistant. And that's how you sort of teach it how to act that way. But then when we're having conversation with it, we're just sort of continuing that same loop. We're like, this is the conversation we've had so far. Here's what they're saying now. What do you want to say back? And then you just do the same again. This is everything they said and what you said. And now they said this, And it just kind of blew my mind that that's how it actually works when you have to build it yourself. It's like, man, it knows nothing. And it's the same like weird feeling you get when you've used it for 8 hours to build something, and it's like, okay, yeah, let me check if we have a user controller. And I'm like, what do you mean if we have a user controller? We've looked at this code base for 8 hours today, just today. You built all of it. Like, how do you not know that there's a user controller? And you just realize it knows nothing.
Of course, it doesn't. Yeah, I call it the internet faucet, because there's like a metaphor that makes sense for me. Like when it's just the model and it hasn't been pre-trained, you just open the faucet and just runs. This like internet runs out, pure internet runs out, which could be anything, and then you can like you could like imagine it goes down a hill or something. You can cut tracks. And then the water will flow down these tracks. And that's basically what you do when you train it. Like making it flow down the same paths so it looks like an assistant. And that's just like, that's how you make it work.
That's why, like, I feel like, I talked to Adam a bunch about this. Like, it takes so much intuition to even just, like, figure out how to prompt them. Even like forgetting just the whole like context thing that we just talked about, or whether it should be context engineering instead of prompt engineering, but just tiny little cues or clues. Like I always do stuff like, could we do it, maybe do it this way instead, or something like that. I'll add something like, or something like that, just because I know it's going to go to it's going to go through a different path in its model. If I sound less confident than if I sound confident, it's going to skip some steps, or it's just going to sort of tackle it differently. And it's just like so subtle. And I think if people don't have much experience prompting, like they think it's just random that you do stuff like that, but it's a very intentional.
Yeah. I still see people that are like very skeptical that this can be used for anything.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to feel like you're just like choosing to be blind now, because you can obviously see that this can be used for like so many things, but you just haven't learned how yet. Like then they like tweet a thing like, I tried to make the agent do this and it was rubbish. It's like, yeah, okay, but then you're using it wrong. Like obviously people are doing stuff with this. So I just
well, like
that's with
Gemini.
That's how it always is
like,
with them.
Some of the stuff I worked at for Laravel, like I used Gemini for all of it. And when I talk to people about it, they're like, but like, they're almost like assuming I didn't review the code or something like that. But it's not even about reviewing the code. Like I'm not reviewing the code. I'm just having it generate examples like really, really quickly. And I'm doing it over and over again until I have a solution I like. And then I tweak it but like, so it's my code. Like I use Gemini to like do things really, really fast, but like most of the good ideas, not all actually, but a lot of the good ideas are my ideas. Some of it is actually coming from the LLM too. But it's just, I'm in 10 times faster. Like, and I don't think that's an exaggeration at all. Like
no.
I'm so much faster, and it's still my code. It's like, I'm not vibe coding it. Like, especially like when you work on something that's potentially going to be part of a framework that millions of people are using, like you don't vibe code that. It's like the code is the product, right? So it's just completely different. But I use AI to like help me write that code extremely fast, but I still have full ownership of the code, and I change it all the time. But it's so fast to be like yesterday I generate these classes. They're called attributes in PHP, and I use them to like add annotations to MCP tools. And I changed my mind like 5 times about how to name them. Should it be like, first I wanted to be like read only, but then read only is a reserved word in PHP. Then I tried like read only hint, which is what it's called in the MCP spec, but it didn't sound great. Like then I tried is read only. Then I went back to like a different version, and then I did is read only again. And there was like 5 classes like this, like is read only, is destructive, is idempotent, but just being able to like change my mind, and then bam, it just, changes it for me every time. It's like just stuff like that is so much faster.
Yeah, it is.
Tests, like write 700 tests for this, or just another thing, like for like the stuff I built at Laravel, I would still consider like a prototype, or I mean, it is like in theory, it's not a prototype. In theory, you could just use it, but it's a prototype in a sense that it's like an experiment to like see if this is something we want to do. But But the whole time, there's been a README file with literally documentation for every single feature and option and everything. So from day one, there's been a way for someone to gather what this package does right now. What's in there? How does it work? What's the API look like? And every time I add something, I just ask Gemini to update the README file with this and that. And I give it feedback and we tweak it and make sure it's good. And it's just, they would have never done that before.
No. Yeah, it's crazy.
It's just there. It's just like a full README file that just documents literally everything about this package.
Yeah.
With
I also
examples
asked
and
it
everything.
the other day for my own library to like read the README and see if it actually still is true.
Yeah.
Just like go through the examples and check whether they check out.
Yeah. Yeah. So, dude, it's just crazy.
It's
and we're
crazy.
doing a lot of AI stuff at Tailwind right now as well. So,
Yeah, I've noticed
just
Adam
AI.
has tweeted a few times about a Figma conversion thing.
yeah, it's a bit more than that, but we're experimenting with lots of things.
And multi-million-dollar domain worthy ideas.
Yeah, we're not
Possibly,
gonna get that
probably,
sadly,
maybe
but maybe if we raise some money.
related to .ai. Yeah,
The
so I've been
2.7 million one was a .com,
yeah, it almost has
but
to
it
be.
had AI in it.
Unless it's like coaching.ai. I don't know. What even would have to be the .ai domain to be worth that much?
Sex.
Yeah. 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 Girlfriend.
Friend.
So I've been also very clouding to the coding to the maxing, and recorded a video that came out way too long the other day about how.
But yeah, I still have an open tab. I haven't watched it.
Yeah,
finished it.
it's quite the big deal. No, not the video, but it's long. It wasn't meant to be so long, but there's a whole tangent about playing Open Transport Tycoon Deluxe. So yeah, it's not as straight to the point as it might have been. But I recorded another one today actually about how to run multiple claws at once. I've been hesitant to get into that because it's like I don't even feel confident running one, so why would I run four at the same time? But now I'm
to fight
starting
each other.
Yeah, that's the problem, right? That they all start changing files underneath the feet of each other. But Anthropic has suggested on their documentation to use Git work trees, and that's what I'm trying. So I've made some scripts that make it easier, and I'm still like running the sidecar monitor setup with Claude like full screen in the portrait mode on the secondary screen, and it is really good. Like and like it's deliberately always Claude, so I'm barely opening cursor anymore at all, and I'm like deliberately not trying the new Gemini client because I want to learn how to use Claude, and I think it's very good. So I'm not like seeing any limitations at this point. Still, I'm not on the market for something that's better because this is plenty good, and what's not good enough possibly is my own skills using it still. So yeah, so I'm really trying to practice, I guess, and I'm just getting so much done. Like every time I close my computer, it's like, but I could have done a few more weeks of progress.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's really crazy. And now I'm doing stuff like that I've been postponing for years almost on Tenor. So like yesterday I pulled all the remaining parts of it that were using Alpine.js, and like Alpine is a great project, but like using just one is better. And I'm going with Rails defaults, so I had to change some things to Stimulus, and just like doing stuff like saying to the agent, make an issue to do this, and it gathers all this information about like relevant information about this task and saves it to GitHub as an issue, and then saying then do the issue, and it like runs for multiple minutes, putting everything into place, even like saving some that are like I told it to, if it's like too complicated, save it for last, and we'll do it together or whatever. And it just knows what I'm talking about. Like it's so crazy that I feel like completely competent, like not competent, but excited to work on projects. Yeah, empowered to work on projects that I've been postponing for years almost.
Yeah,
and still, while I do it, it's like sometimes I would skip tests because like I can't write tests for everything, right? But now it's like just make a test for this, and it just makes one, and it's
actually
fine.
Make 3.
And yeah, like when I say a test, it's like a file with a bunch of tests and assertions, and it's really good. And also stuff like fix the localization issues, like run the tests and fix whatever's wrong, and you don't have to, like, it would be hours to just doing stuff like this. It used to be such a big part of the job to like clean up and do chores,
and even like needing a break after you did something hard, you know.
yeah it's like just crazy.
Your brain is kind of fried, but with the AI, like, you just get a new brain every time. You just throw it away and get a new brain.
And it's like almost starting to be frustrating when I see people, like I mentioned before, like saying that AI, like they don't use AI, or that AI is just writing rubbish, or that it's unusable, or that they
or that
want
you can't use it
to
for
write
real
all the code
things
themselves,
or existing apps. Oh, it's like, dude, you have.
And I'm just like, what are you not seeing? Yeah.
Just give it a week. So, like you could do that.
Yeah, and it's not like it's not writing rubbish. It is writing like trash code all the time. But then you go back and change it, right? It's not like it's not like it is perfect. It's not that I'm saying that there's no space left for like real programmers, or that I don't enjoy programming anymore. It's just like passing someone riding like a horse carriage in a Formula One car, and them saying like, but I still like riding a horse. And it's like, yeah, I do like riding a horse as well, but it's like, don't you realize?
It's like in a sense, it's like a golf caddy. It's like it puts the ball on the little tee, and they give you the driver, and they drive you around. Right. They carry your bag. They get everything ready, and you just like you go and do the swing, which is the fun part, you know.
Do the swing, master. It's ready for you, master. Maybe I should actually make it talk like that. So that's, I'm just having a bunch of fun. And I think I was working on Funnymost for quite a while, and everything's in shape. I don't remember if I released Ruben's show while we were still talking, but I did.
No.
So now it's going just great. I made a bunch of progress. Is it selling
like warm bread?
It's selling fine.
To say in Denmark.
Yeah, selling okay. I mean, the market for comedy shows as digital downloads hasn't expanded since 4 years ago. On the contrary, there's so much more on the market on YouTube and all the streaming services and everything. So I'm not sure, but it's selling fine. Like, Ruben is popular, so there's no like chance of failure there. But what's funny is that he made 2 versions. One is just a show that you buy for one amount, and then a premium version where it gets like a bunch of other things. And they've sold at a rate that they have both made sort of the same revenue. So there's much fewer of the premium one, of course, but it's made the same as the ordinary one, which is funny fact, right? I think maybe with this the amount of comedy available, I think something like Funnymost, what Funnymost offers, is going to move a bit more towards the premium thing. So you sell it for like a higher amount, but you get a little bit more. You get the premium version, you get the fan version, you get perhaps like a commentary track or some behind the scenes material, and the thing with like the show has to be high quality, but all the extra material doesn't actually have to be that high quality. Like that can be, it's almost like it's almost better if it's like the comedians recording it
Takeouts.
with their own phones on the way. Like the more personal, the better, even.
Yeah, true.
So that's funny. So I'm sort of talking with a few of my old friends about how they should probably think about this while preparing and doing their show. Yeah.
Yeah, behind the scenes stuff is probably popular with super fans, you know.
That's it. Yeah. So, but everything went fine, and I'm doing the support on Funny Most, and there's barely any left. Like the only thing
Nice.
was that so many people don't know that you can't play videos on Chromecast from your phone, where unless it's from an app. So that's the main problem that I still have left, and I've actually thought about maybe making an app or vibe coding an app, like a React Native app, just for this one purpose of letting people Chromecast it from their phone. And when that's done, I don't think I have any more issues. Like the only support tickets left are like, I bought the show 5 times. I'm sorry. It's like, okay,
Yeah,
not sure I can fix that one. Or like, I used the wrong email or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So everything's fine with Funny Most, and I don't think I need to do that much more. It's a project that I like take up again every time there's a new release, and then put it away, and it just runs on its own. And then every time there's something new, I can do a little bit of updates. So I'm back to tenor and
Nice.
Claude maxing to the max.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't even want to work. I just want to not work and just work on my agent because it's so much fun. It's like the most fun I've had in ages. Like, I don't know what it is about it, but it's just something about it that just make it like the funniest thing in the world to work on this agent.
I think, yeah, it's maybe it's like
Building a robot, you know?
Yeah, you've been running this obstacle course, but you've been carrying like a chainmail armor all the time, and then suddenly you realize that you take off the chainmail armor. It's just more fun to run the obstacle course because it's like you can run faster.
It's just kind of mind-blowing that you could just... Like when you started using these tools, you were convinced they were magic. It still sort of feels like magic, but that you could start building some of it yourself is like just freaking mind-blowing. And it's like,
agent,
I know it's like a dumb idea, but there's still like a part of me that's like, I'm having so much fun, and it's like there is a world where it does make sense actually to build this coding agent. I'm not saying it makes sense. I'm just saying there is a world where potentially it makes sense. Because I started thinking like, what's like, you know, PHP, Laravel, people use PHP Storm because it like just knows PHP. So it's just makes a lot of things like easier because it just can do it for you because it knows PHP so well. I'm like, how would a coding agent work if all it knew was Laravel, and it didn't have to know Rails or PyCharm or whatever? Like if all it knew was like Laravel and the way to do Laravel and how to think about the whole like Laravel stack basically, and the way that people in Laravel like to do things, and I don't know, it just started really interesting me. Like, how would it do tests? How would it do code generation? How would it do?
Like my worry with stuff like that is that Claude knows just fine how to do Laravel. Like, there's not really space there. Like the big ones already know how to do it.
Yeah, but it's more than just know how to do it. It's an opinionated workflow, and they don't have the opinionated workflow.
Oh, yeah.
And there's definitely a world where it makes more sense to just like change how Claude works, and like maybe there's like it could literally be an MCP server, right? But what it just feels like now is like the actual coding agent that just like interacts with files and stuff like that is not that hard. Like it's just that's not really
the basics,
the mode.
Yeah.
That's why all the models are just, pooping them out now because it's so easy. And it's like it makes sense for them to have it because it uses their own model. But
yeah,
I don't care if it uses Claude or GPT or Gemini. All I care about is that it knows Laravel really well. So it does feel like there is a difference there. to me.
Yeah, possibly. I
It's
think
just like
with
an
the
opinionated
opinions. Yeah,
workflow.
yeah. The opinions make sense.
It's just,
maybe you could
and then,
just have
but
them
the
in your
main
Claude
reason,
MD.
the main reason is just because it's freaking fun to try to get it to work and build it. It's just so much fun. Like, and it's like, I feel like it feels rare. It's rare to me that I'm just like really, really having fun with something these days. And it's just, I think it's a good thing to just embrace if you find something that's really fun. And it also happens to be like tangentially related to like where a lot of like business value is it being created right now. Is probably not the worst thing to spend time on, you know?
No. I would be so worried if I was in AI because it's just going so fast. So like imagine starting a company now that was like build apps with AI and it's all around you. People are just running at full speed, doing the exact same thing.
Did you see the new Airtable website?
No.
Try to go to Airtable.
Airtable.
And tell me what you see.
I used to love Airtable. What a great
tell
product.
me what you see when you get there. Describe it for the listener.
Oh, it's a V0.
Yeah.
Oh, it's lovable.
It's lovable.
Oh, it's...
They changed the entire homepage to just be the text box with like, what do you want to build?
Yeah.
Dude,
I guess
I don't know.
Like
I don't think that's the future. That's not. I
it's
don't
inevitable,
think that's the future
but no.
It's not. I can tell you one thing. It's not what we're building at Tailwind.
Tell me your idea and I'll build it for you. No, I think at Tailwind you should probably be like one level deeper, I think. If you want my opinion.
We just have a completely different take on how you want to do stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think people want a project to start with a text box, an empty text box. I don't think that's how people want to start a new project.
No. And it has to be a sort of a grayish purple, always.
The thing that works for Tailwind Plus is that people love browsing it and be like, that's cool. Oh, that's a good way to do it. Or getting inspired by the examples.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Seeing
that's what I do sometimes.
Freaking text area with a button next to it is like the most uninspiring thing in the world. I don't think that's the right way to do it.
I used to have these design sprints, like the book at DR. We like a big part, like something that I realized that the book says as well is that if you ask people their idea, it's going to be like, but it's Uber but for dogs. Where it's like, okay, yeah, that's what fits in the text box. But as soon as you unpack that, there's so much to answer, right? It's like barely an idea there. It's just like a sentence. So as soon as you make people draw it, there's a distinction. Like they have to face reality, right? They can't just say it's Uber for dogs. They have to
like
draw like what.
It's like not how you make software. It's like if you ask a human to create software for you, you don't go to a human and then the human's like, what would you like me to build for you? Because everyone knows that it's going to fail horribly. They're going to ask you like, what problem are you trying to solve? Like, how have you tried solving it in the past? Or, learn stuff about you. And it's just missing here. It's just, I don't know. I don't think it's the right way.
No, I think you're right. Like the text, the text input to app is sort of like, it's a fine, like it's good to get the point across that you can do this, but it's not actually good for getting good results. Like it's more of a trick than an actual tool.
Definitely.
I guess. Well, so what are you going to do with the agent?
I'm just going to keep working on it.
Until it's not fun anymore.
Actually, I have a different idea where it's not a coding agent, but I think something, I don't know, I have a lot of agent ideas.
One where it's British.
I'm going to say too much. Actually, this idea is actually too good for the podcast right now. All the listeners would have to sign an NDA.
So secretive.
Is there a podcast player where they have to sign an NDA before they hear like the next 3 minutes? Or is it beeped out if they don't click accept?
But you should get your agent to build it.
Yeah.
In opinionated Laravel code.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, well, I'll get back to editing my new Claude video. That's only like sub 10 minutes. It's under 10 minutes long, which is a big improvement over my full-length movie from the other day. All right, good having you back, Peter.
Adam just sent me a message that was a YouTube link, and then it said, had this recommended by a smart person, but haven't watched it yet. And it's like, sometimes that's my job, you know. Watch this YouTube video. Tell people.
You're like a summary LLM.
Yeah, I have I have a lot of different responsibilities at my job.
Yeah.
Anyways,
so from multi-million-dollar domain purchases to summarizing YouTube videos.
I'm going to click buy now.
Yeah, all right. See ya.
See you later.